Thanks. Today we will see mainly how to create some grids. Here, if I just like this one here, I have the standard grids here. Not under home button, it's under the objects. If I click here, I only have to here just take take a time to read what is written here. Please define two diagonals points. If I click, there is already some some values here. If I hit just enter, I will have my grids with those values. If I want, another grid with, some other values, please define the two diagonals. I have to click first and then select, just enter here my, like for example, 40 by 40. Is it clear till now?
Yes.
You only have to, I will delete them, you only have to select this standard grid tool, click. If those values are doing the job right, hit enter. If not, just enter your own diagonals, your own values. Now to modify, once the grid is created, you have to modify, you should modify the values of the intracts, the distance between the axes.
Mm-hmm.
To do that, if I select this one, I don't have those blue boxes to I don't have the two boxes on each grid to control it. So in Advanced Seal, if you want to modify something, double click on it. You will have access to the dialog box, which is exactly the same for all the dialog boxes in Advanced Seal. It's all look the same. Like for example, I clicked here in this direction. He just selected this one, this sense. I have to double click here. Like for example, instead of nothing here, I want to have some balloons. If I click here, I will put ending, and I will see it in real time. I can be able to move it just to see the results. Okay, it seems to do the job. That's it. If I can put it to known, I can modify it. Do you remember the length while creating this grid? The length that was by default, the 59. If you want to change it, here is the place where to change it. And when you double click, for example, when you double click here, you only control this, because the grid is done by two steps. This one and the other one, the opposite sense. So if I want to modify this one, I only have to double click on it. Like for example here, instead of numbers, I want to have capital letters. It's done. Start, for example, instead of A, I want to start at C. If I put C here, it will just continue. Seems to be good till now? Does this make sense for you guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, how did you add those bubbles on there?
Here on the balloon frame, the default one was none. If you want some endings, just select this one.
Okay, I guess I can't really see that dialog box because of my how do I does this I guess attendees box always stay up?
No, well, to have access
I
to
can.
this box, you have to double click first.
No, what I'm saying, the attendees. Um.
You can press the red arrow and it'll minimize it.
Oh, really? Red arrow.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right,
are
cool.
you talking about? Okay,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I thought you were talking about advanced still. Okay, well, now you see it?
Uh. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, this was the first title here, total. If I go to group, he will highlight the group that I'm working on. For example, group index, it was 1, the number, it's 4. Like for example, if I want to put 5 on it, I only have to select 5. You know, just select the number that I have and he will just split the distance.
Okay.
For the single axes, here I have, like for example, CD. But in real life, sometimes we have C.1, D, or something like that. If I want to put a secondary axis, if I select this one, side A, side 1, if I zoom in, it's not the right side, so I will select this side too. Because you can add some axis here and here from this side and the other side. And this is side 1 and side 2. To add axis in, like for example, side 2, you have to check it. For the prefix, like for example, here I want C.1. And for the distance, for the side 2 distance, I will put 24, maybe 48 inch, more than that. Perfect. And I have my axes in here, C, C.1, and D. Seems to be good?
Mhm.
For you, Tony?
Yes.
Perfect. Here I have display types. Now we have seen single axis. Like here, if I want to add a secondary axis between E and F, I have in here instead of C, go here. He will highlight the D one just to add some here and here, or highlight this one. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect. So here,
All you did was just highlighted the one that you wanted to add another grid line to on either side. So you just
exactly,
highlight the single one and then
exactly.
okay.
If you want to enter it, or just use the arrow so he will highlight it.
Okay.
Here we have display types. If you want just not to see your grid, just turn it off. If not, by default it's on standard. But like for the standard, if I select, I cannot control each axis. I cannot control it. Yeah, I don't have those blue boxes here. But if I select single axis, I will have those blue boxes.
So you
And
can move them individually.
exactly, I can grab them, select distance, and select, like for example, 5 feet,
Okay.
something like that. But for example, if I want to extend them, only this one will be extended. So I will hit undo, U enter for undo. If I want to double click here, I will return to display types, go to standard. Now if I want to extend them, all of them will be extended. Seems to be good?
Yes.
So the advantage of single axis is really to control each one, yeah. and just drag it left and right using values, something like that. Seems to be good till now, guys. With the
Let's say, for instance, if you want to start with the, I guess, typical grid. Let's say if you only wanted to put one grid in,
yes.
then is there a way with not having to use the group or the standard box if you just wanted to put like a single grid line in?
A single grid line. We have in here single axis. We have this
Okay.
option, single axis. Just click here in ortho mode, and here he will add it. But this one you will be able to snap and all that stuff. But if you move it to extend it, not yes. If you sorry, if you extend it, like for example, he won't follow.
Okay.
Uh,
You just have to
We'll
move
see
it
it.
itself.
Do you see it here?
Yeah.
He will only add some new
To the
ones.
ones you.
Yeah, to the distance that I was selecting first, but he won't add any of them. So this was single axis here.
Mm-hmm.
I just deleted the single axis. If you noticed here, when I select this one, this blue box is used for adding some new axes. We'll just, do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
But this one, if I select this one and grab, he will extend the number of axes that was already there. Do you see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Perfect. That was this one, single axis. Okay, here we have this tool. When I have to click here, define the endpoint. Okay, this and this direction. Now I have to select the distance between the axes. Like for example, 2 feet, 4 feet, 4 feet, 6, and 4. The last one I will only hit enter, and he will just create my grids. The distances that I have set it here, 2, 4, 4, 6, 4, they are between the axes here.
Gotcha. Okay.
That was
And you-
this tool here.
Now, does it still put those in a group?
Yep, this is a group.
Okay.
When I double click, it's really group here. It's exactly the same thing. It's the same dialog box.
All right.
Only
So
have
instead
to
of
go-
you can control it to what you want. Instead of the standard, it just puts
Exactly,
in.
exactly.
Okay.
You can control the distance between them, as I said,
Right.
as I just did here.
Okay. Yeah, because most time the contract drawings you never see a square.
No, you never
like
see
you did
it.
the first example.
Exactly.
So yeah. Okay. So this probably would make more sense.
Yeah, this one will make more sense. So it was this one.
Yeah.
That's you have to do this direction first, and then
Okay.
the other direction.
Okay.
Seems to be good for all of you guys.
I think
Yes.
so.
Perfect. Here. Here, like for example, this one is Similar to this one. Well, it's you only select the first point, but instead of just hitting enter, you select the first, like if you know the distance, just click and he will do it. If you know the other distance, if you notice the distance that I clicked here, it's exactly what he have done, and the one that I clicked here, that's exactly what I will find here. This one is well, I can say it's not really useful, but the most useful one is single access. So we will control each access alone, and you can grab it, something like that. Seems to be good for you guys.
Yes.
Well, I will let you 5 minutes to practice those tools that we have just seen. Let me know if you have some questions.
I have a question.
Yep.
When you want to start a grid line using any of those options, and you want to start it at 0, 0, 0, do you just type that in?
Yes. Like for example, if I click here and please define two diagonal points, I hit enter. Well, I hit enter, and do you see where it's grabbing?
Yeah, 0.
Yeah.
So you just started and hit enter.
Yeah.
So it automatically goes to 0, 0 at that point.
Yes, it should automatically grab to 0, 0, 0. If it doesn't grab to 0, 0, 0, enter it manually. Instead of clicking, enter it manually. But it should be in 0, 0, 0.
Well, to be honest, I really didn't get a chance to look at it because I had to close out the advanced steel for some reason. I don't know what's going on with this computer today.
Oh.
It's coming back up now, but
Okay.
I don't know.
How about you, James?
Yeah, when I do the grid lines, I'm only being able to put in one direction for some reason.
I'm gonna make a projector. You have to show me that.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, as a group,
Mm-hmm.
if I want to make the distance between larger, I change this distance.
Yep.
No, that just added more grids. It didn't change the distance.
No, it won't. If you want to change the distance, you have to extend them. This distance is the total distance. He will just adjust the grid's number to the distance. He won't do the opposite.
Okay.
As I said, the best command to use is the second command that we have seen.
Right.
All right. Let me ask you a question. When I want to open, like I'm back on to the advanced steel now.
Yep.
So I hit new.
Yep.
And then it gives me this select template file.
Yep. You have the mm_template, and you have just template. The mm_ is metric, and the other one is imperial.
Okay.
So you have to choose which one you want to use.
Okay. And then at that point,
You have only to double click on the one that you have
okay,
chosen.
okay. Okay, got it. Alright, so go to objects. And I think this is the one we looked at. So if I want to do 0, comma 0. Okay.
Green on this one.
Okay.
When you click here, it's already on the origin. You don't have to type in 000 unless
Okay.
it's not on the origin. So I don't have to specify a point.
Okay.
Do you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. As I said, when I select this one here, I have in here the origin. Unless I
Okay.
don't have it, you only have to press enter. Do you see it? It's in the origin.
Yep.
So
Yep.
now, so now for the second point here, if you want it 30 feet, you have to put 30 feet
Okay.
by, like, for example, 15 feet.
Okay.
You will have it here.
Right. All right. So with that, with the second option you showed us, where you put in the grids, you can do the same thing then. I guess not select 000, just select enter.
I didn't guess you.
For this second option here,
This one?
the other way you showed us how to put the grids in.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. When you select, you only have to select the start point that he is asking you to select.
Right. Right.
Select, and the end. In here you can just click. And for the direction, this direction. I will
Okay,
go
but
this
if you-
direction.
Okay. So if you wanted to go 0, start that at the working point at 000. Would you put 000 in, or would you just hit enter there as well?
Well, you can type in 000, but for example, if the grid is done here and you want to move it to 000, it's not really a problem. Just select it,
Right.
select a point and move it to 000. It's as simple as
right.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
I was just saying
don't.
if you start using that second option that you showed us how to put the grid in,
Yep.
so then at that point you can just say
Here for the start point, you can say 000.
yes. So that's what I did,
Yep.
and then it says end point.
For the end point, you have to select the direction. Here you have the direction of the group. Select it like this direction.
Okay.
Enter. So when you will add some axes, they will go this direction.
Okay.
The distance between axes here, like for example, 2 feet. Oops. 2 feet, 4 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet, 6 feet. Enter. The last one, just hit enter.
Okay. All right. Let me try that.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
How about you, James? Do you have any questions?
No, I'm just, yeah, I've got it.
Perfect. Now I will just go to the next tools here. We have here to delete axes. Like for example, I want to delete this axis number 3. If I select and hit delete on my keyboard, the whole group will be deleted. So I will hit undo, U on the keyboard, U enter. And I have in here the option delete access. When I select number 3, hit enter, the access will be deleted and the numbers it will follow. It won't be 1, 2, 4 as it just were. I will have 1, 2, 3. You know, the one that I have deleted, they won't be counted within the numbers. It's the same thing if I had letters instead of numbers. Seems to be good for this option. Now I have this option to add access. To add access, I have here this one, enter. Number of access, I will add 1. The distance between them, like 5 feet. We just add it here. For example, if I want to add another one, but in this one, enter, 5 feet, number 1, distance 5 feet. He will add it on this one. Like for example, each one, like I want to add between this one and this one. Well, I have to select this one first, so the software will add it after this grid. Seems to be good.
Yes.
Yes.
It is working just like this single axis here. And if I select the group, it's part of the group. That was the group here. Okay, now I will add new. Here I have a trim axis. Like for example, I want to trim this axis. I want it to stop here. I have to select this one, enter, and then this one, enter. The part that I want to delete, I have to select like the part that I want to delete. I will do it again. Select that. I want to cut, like for example, this one on this grid. So I will select this grid first and the part that I want to be deleted. This part, enter. Seems to be good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, I will let you guys 5 minutes to do some tests with those 3 icons here. Add access, delete them, and trim accesses. The next part is after doing the grid, you have to put on a canvas. So all the pieces that are on your model will be, while on 2D drawings, they will have, you know, the north arrow or the south arrow. Like for example, to put the compass, well, I was on objects here. You have to go to manage, and you have here compass. If you click here, just click wherever you want on your model, and you will have this north, west, east, and south. If you want, for example, the north to be here, just rename them.
Okay.
Seems to be good?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Under Manage tab, go to Compass, click, and click on your model. That will do the job.
So go to Manager, Campus.
Manage Compass, yep.
Campus. Okay.
Okay. Here under, I will return to my object tab here. Here I want to put some beams, so we'll maybe just put on standard grid, delete this one, enter this one. We will extend them. Perfect. Now I want to add some beams here. To add beams, we have here beams. If I click, I have the I section, the C channel, the angles, the HSS. I have all the list here. For example, I want to add a rolled I section. When I click here, please locate start point of system access. If I click here, I don't have the intersection between grids. Why? It's just because here, under my OSNAPs, when I click, you should have to go to settings. Under Steel OSNAP, you are on Object Snap. Under Steel OSNAP, you have here grid intersection. You have to check this one.
Where did you get that?
Under
OSNAPs.
OSNAP settings.
Oh, okay.
Right click, settings, Steel OSNAP, grid intersection, and hit OK.
So do you want us to set that up now?
Yep. Just set this up so we won't have any problems in the future.
So OSNAPs. Alright, when I click on settings, Steel OSNAPs, grid intersection.
It's done for both of you guys?
Now
Yes.
this preferred, now in my box was checked, preferred for manual dimensions. Does that need to stay checked or?
Well, yes. Just let it like this,
Okay.
but I will tell you the reason later on my
Okay.
training.
Okay. Okay.
Here on the rolled I section, if I click here, as I said, I have all the kinds of section that exist in Steel. So if I select the first one, roll I section, the W, here I have the little grid intersection. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I have to click here. Like for the length of my W, I can just click manually, or we'll have to delete it. Or if I click here, select this one, I can select the length, like 15 feet. Seems to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, I have access to this dialog box. As I said, the dialog boxes in Advanced Steel are all looking the same. For example, I wanna change this section. This is IISCW. I only have to click on the little arrow to change it. For the I section, if I want to put C channel, flat bar, some others here. If not, I have here the section. The section class. Like for example, okay, I want to put 14 by 34 instead. It's done. Well, I only have to select it, and we will see it. We will see it in real time. Like if you see here, I will change it. It's really in real time. come back to this one. Under the material, here I have steel by default. For the material, I have, those three here. If those three doesn't do the job for me, I will go to all and, browse for the one that I want. Like, for example, 300W, something like that. Oh, this one, that will do the job. For the coating, I have by default none, but I will put like painted, galvanized, or, I will choose one on the list. I will put painted. Now that was for the section and materials. For the positioning, if you notice here, my system line, the red line is called the system line. The system line is in the center of the grid intersection. If I want to offset this beam, I only have to click here, and it will move wherever I have clicked. By default, it's centered.
Okay.
So that's for the offset. If, for example, I want to have the system line on the grid, but the profile offsetted, well, I only have to go here and put, like, for example, a 5. You see it?
Mm-hmm.
We'll put this to 0. If I want to put an angle, I will zoom a little bit. Do you see the angles here?
Yes.
Well, by default is on 0. If you have some fancy angle, you can put them manually, like 23 and half. You will have to put it manually. If not, just let it to 0.
Okay, so if I offset the beam, the profile, even though the center or working point line, the red line, will be on the grid intersection, but the member is offset. So that actual member, so if I connect another, let's say another beam to this, let's say column here,
Yep.
then what will be the
result? The connection will follow.
Because okay.
We will see that.
So I guess to get my frame of mind around this, I'm used to working inside of, I don't know what system you worked on, James, but I've worked on ScrewCAD, and I'm used to working inside of a joint.
Yep.
So here it's more, I guess you're seeing everything without having to load the joint to view what you're doing.
Well, in Advanced Steel, it's really simple. You will see that while starting to connect steel. It's really simple. Like if you move this, it will follow. Those stuff. It's really well done, and it's simple.
Okay.
Yeah, ScrewCAD is what I was using too.
Oh, was it? Okay.
That's great. So now I was showing the positioning. As I said, it's really visual. You only have to select the points that you want. And here on naming, please don't forget the mod role, because this is how the software recognize this piece. Like for example, you are saying that this piece is a column. On your mind, this piece is a column, but for Advanced Steel, he doesn't know that. So for the mod role, you have to put column. You have to browse for column, just put column, and that's it. Forget about the naming, don't put anything manually. The software will take care of that later.
Okay.
Now, we can put it in all the columns and select them all at once and tell them it's a column.
Exactly.
Okay.
For example, if you have 100 columns and you haven't selected the mod role yet, you only have to select them all and precise the mod role. Well, I
Okay.
will do it. I will copy this beam once finishing explaining this macro
User
here.
attributes. Okay.
Yep. For the user attributes, for example, if I want to add some nodes within the 2D drawings, I only have
Mm-hmm.
like for the user attributes, I just have um, to write down what I want to be in the 2D drawings.
Okay. Like if you want to add a paint node or something.
Yeah, to add nodes
Okay.
like call somebody in the shop or something like that. Here for the display type, mm, it's not the right time to show you this. I will show it to you a little bit later today.
Okay.
The display type is just different presentation types of the beam, and we will see it by the end of this session. For the behavior, like if you are working on an existing building and you have, for example, an existing steel, you only have to uncheck all the boxes here. So the software won't recognize this piece. Like for example, for this piece, this is an existing column. You only
Mm-hmm.
have to uncheck those, so the software won't use them for numbering, won't use them for lists, and won't use them for collision check or for as a structural member.
It's like using a dummy in
Yeah.
StrueCAD.
ScrewCAD. Yeah. But you just
Okay.
have to uncheck all those boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. And that's under. It sounds like it's hard for me to
Behavior.
read.
Behavior.
Okay.
In here in properties, you have all the physical properties of this beam, like the gauge line, all
Mm-hmm.
the dimensions, all the info that you have to know about this beam. For the design forces, this is engineering stuff. For the physical and for the mechanical forces. For the camber
Mm-hmm.
properties, if you want to add some cambers, just add them here.
Okay.
This is by default is unchecked. If you want, just check it and specify the height, the end offset, and the start offset.
So, kind of an advanced question here.
Yep.
If you checked cambered and give it a setting, a camber setting, like 3/4 inch or whatever,
Yep.
will that translate into fab drawings, or do you have to put that in the user attributes?
Well, don't put anything in the user attributes. You will have a node. You won't see the curve, but you will have a node about all the dimensions.
Okay,
okay.
so this basically will put on the
Exactly.
fabrication sheet that it's cambered.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, I just finished creating my column. I didn't put any module. I will put it to known. I will just copy it, CP in the keyboard. Have you used AutoCAD before?
Yes.
Yes.
All the AutoCAD commands are still exist in Advanced Steel. Like for the shortcuts, for the keyboard shortcuts, all of them still exist in Advanced Steel.
Okay. I've never been a shortcut key guy. So, is there? I'm always in ScrewCAD. I'm always using my menu. So,
Okay, if it's the case, here you have. Do you see this
Yeah.
tab here?
Uh-huh.
Under modify, you have in here move. You have copy. You have all the
Mm-hmm. The commands,
all the commands or
and the
all
dialog
the
box.
exactly.
Okay.
So, well,
So where did you get that modify from?
well, here you have modify, you have tools, custom
Yeah, okay.
connections. The first one is modify. So now I will just copy using CP in keyboard, select the one that I want to copy, enter. from here to here to here. I will copy it the other way. Copy, enter, from here to here. That's it. Well, as I said, if I select them all, I have to right click and go to Advanced Properties.
Okay.
Go to Naming and select the mother role column. That's it. And it's done for all of them. If I want to check,
Okay.
go ahead, it's a column. This one, it's also a column. Okay,
So
now,
when you clicked on that beam just then to get the properties of it, what did you use? You just hit enter on the beam? I mean, just
well, there is two ways to do that. If you double click on the beam, if it's a single beam, like if you are selecting just one beam, double click on it, you will have access on that.
okay.
If you select the beam, right click, Advanced Properties, you will have access
Okay.
to the same dialog box. But like while selecting a lot of pieces, you cannot double click. So you have to
Okay.
right click here and go to Advanced Properties.
Okay.
By the way, if for example you are working on a crowded model and you only want to see this beam on your model, just select the beam and do an orbit. Select the beam, do an orbit. The only one that will be on is the beam.
On orbit, how did you get to that?
The shift key on your keyboard and press the wheel mouse.
Oh, okay. And then to get it back, you do.
Well, just
Shift.
no, not even a shift key. Just if you just unpress the buttons, that will go. Like
Oh, okay. Okay.
just let it go.
Gotcha. Okay.
How about if we only want to see that column no matter what, but
Right.
we want to leave the others in?
That we will see that a little bit later. It's possible.
Okay.
So now I will put on some columns instead of beams. I can just go here, square, rectangle, hollow section, and put a square section here. Specify this one, yes, that will do the job. For example, I want to you know the match properties. Are you familiar with this tool? I think.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. This tool is working for beams also. If you select this one, select this HSS, and select this beam, hit enter, it will just have all the properties of the first one selected.
Okay.
Even your advanced properties that you set?
Like for example, if I double click, it won't be in column here because on the first one, like for example, if I have this one, well, I will give you an example. I will set the mother role to column, and I will transfer the properties of this one to this one. If I click here, the mother role should be column.
So
And-
it grabs every property.
Every
Right.
property, you know, painted, steel, the section, it's exactly the same thing.
Same. Okay.
So now I will just put on some beams. Go here, here. While putting beams, please just make sure not to grab here, not to grab here on the system line. Now I don't have the snap point for the system line. To have it, go to OSNAP settings and specify node. The one,
Node.
yeah,
Okay.
one thing is really suggested while putting your beams, just uncheck midpoint, because when midpoint is activated, you don't know where you grab, here, here, or here. So just make sure that the midpoint isn't selected. Like here, here. Well, it's done. Now I have to go to positioning and put it from top. So the top, the system line, the two system lines should be in touch. That's the first rule. Well, yes, that's all. And the naming should be beam. After that, you'll be able to just copy from here to here, and copy it the other ways. So I will let you sometimes to put some cells on some cell on your model.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe I unlocked it 2 years ago, but I used to be with Fido.
Which screen is it? Is it Tony or James?
No, that's James.
James.
Oh, okay. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So now if you go to explore layers,
Do you need control?
okay, well, I will request control.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, the contacts, I don't mind about the contacts.
Go here. So which color do you want to have?
How long would it take?
Magenta.
Beams.
Yeah, that's the one I want for beams.
If it's not long.
Okay, but for columns you want another one?
Yes.
Well, to use, yeah, I know what you have done here. For the columns, the only way to have, yeah, you have changed that one to magenta. That's great. So I will close that. Maybe I don't have the control of this section of your screen. Oh. Oh. Sorry. Like here under object, to have access to the magenta one, you have to create really a column, not a beam by the model column. If I go here, select this one, click, that will be on magenta.
Okay.
Alright.
So
Seems to be
we're
good.
kind of tricking the system into thinking that there's a column there.
Yes, but well, for me, it's simpler. Like while creating, you don't click each time and just one time and you copy it for the model role. It's but all up to you. It's exactly the same thing. It's working the same way. Seems to be good?
Let me ask you a question.
Yep.
When you're inputting beams, and like say if you go from one beam, from one column to the next, and you want to continue that same column, same beam to another column, do you just, do you have to go back and select it every time, or can you just right click or something to keep that same member going to click to the next column?
Like this one? Are you talking about this situation?
Yeah.
Well, what is the best way? There are many ways to do that. What I have done for this is I created this one and I did a mirror of this one here. Or while creating, you do it one way, like from here to here. And then, well, for the positioning, for the naming, it's beam. And then split it here. To split beams, that will be the next part of my theory. Split. Oh, split beams in 2014 is here. Split beams, select the beam, and select where you want to split, enter, and it's 2 beams here.
Ah, okay.
Well, you have the choice. You know, it's not. For me, the mirror is working fine.
Okay, so you don't have like a clone, so you can just clone that member.
Well, you can, for example. Well, I will do it this way. Okay. Like for example, I will delete this one and this one. I will copy it from here to here, and well, I moved it.
Moved, yeah.
Okay. Like for example, I want, I have 6 situations like this. I only have to select them all, split beam, and select here. That will split all of them.
Okay.
Seems to be good?
All right, let me try that.
Yep.
Okay, so change these sections here. Starting point here, all the way across to here. So if I want to split it in multiple locations, okay, so now go to split beam. Okay, select there. So if I want to do it in multiple locations though, I only can do it in one spot, or I can do it in multiple spots?
I will start with this feature, the corner cuts. You only have to select the corner, and it's exactly the same thing. If I make it convex or concave, you will see it. You will be able to modify the radius and the values here. For this thing in here, we call this a feature. Do you remember when I was explaining the display types? Those are the kinds of presentation of this beam. Like for example, if I put it to standard, I won't see the feature. The little green thing that was here, the green shape.
Yeah.
I won't see it if the presentation type is in standard. If
So
I
you
put
won't
it
be able to select on it?
I'm sorry?
So if it's in standard, you won't be able to select on it?
No, I won't be able to delete the feature or something like this.
Okay.
Okay.
So now if I want to see the feature, I have to go here in features. In here I have exact. They are showing the gauge lines. See it here of the bin?
Okay.
This is what exact used for. This is symbol. For the symbol, it just shows a little preview of what the profile look like, but it doesn't show the whole profile. Like for example, if a section of your model is really crowded, this symbol will do the job. They will make it look less complicated. This is an exact with edge features. See those edge features?
Yes.
This is the main difference between just features and edge features. Well, that's it. That's the main difference.
Okay.
What I will use the most is while doing manual work will be just features, because I will be able to control this one. Like if I don't want it to be here, if I want to enlarge it or something like that manually, I am able to fully control it. If not, I
Okay.
will be able to just select it and delete it. That was for the corner cut. If, for example, I want to do a miter, I have to move this from here. Like for example, I want to miter this corner. I only have to select this one, the first one, enter, second one, enter, and it's done. See here?
Okay. So if you wanted to put a gap in there,
Yes, you can do that. If you go to cut, now I was under properties. If you go to cut, there is a gap. You can put 2
Okay.
in the gap and you will see it here.
okay.
If you want to put some create weld symbols, if I click here, do you see the little plus on
Yes.
bank here? This is the weld symbol on 3D in Advanced Steel. This is the weld symbol. And here you have the weld thickness. You can specify that. Here you have your library. Like for example, you wanna save those values here for the gap, for the weld creating, and for the weld thickness. If you wanna save those values here, if you go to library, you have save values, and you have to select this line, edit it, and rename it like test 01. Hit OK. Now the next time that I will use, well, the next time that he will recognize the same situation, he will use the test one that I have saved into my library. Let's do a test. This one, the first one, enter. Second one, enter. You see in here, he just used the test one because it's exactly the same sections. Let's do a test. Like I will delete this one. I will change this section class, and I will do a miter. Why he didn't put this test one? It's because
different member sizes, right?
exactly. So he won't put this one because it's different member sizes.
So
Well,
they got to be the exact same
Yeah, if it's
situation.
not exactly the same situation with the same member sizes, you won't put the connection.
Okay.
Well, that was for the miter. Let's do cat at object. Copy this here, and I will do some. Gonna put an angle on it. Okay, that will do the job. Okay, well, cat at object. Here he is asking me cat a section to cat against. This one, enter, and the object to cat, this one, enter. This message will show each time he won't find any defaults on the library. Like on my side, I don't have any defaults saved on my library.
Okay.
That's why he is popping this message. He's
Okay.
doing something weird here. Can I do it again? This one enter, this one enter. Oh, now he's doing it right. Do you see the result here? And here, if I want to put a gap, I will be able to put a gap. Like for example, 0. Switch sizes. If for switch sizes, if the member is going through the beam, through the main beam, if you want to switch the sizes, straight cut. You know, do you see the difference between straight cut and the other one?
Yes.
And if I want to create a weld, let's watch here. He will add a symbol here. Do you see it?
Yep.
Perfect. Well, that's really all for this tool in here. Well, to have access to the tool, you have to double click here, make it to under display types, make it to features. If you double click on the feature, you will have this dialog box, but you won't have access to the values. So to have access to really to the macro that we had a few moments, you have to select the feature, right click, and advanced joint properties. And now you will have it here. When I clicked on advanced joint properties, do you notice this box that just appeared on the connection?
Yes.
This box is called the intelligent box. If you have it within your connection, just double click on it. If not, well, just go through features, right click on the feature, advanced joint properties. As simple as that.
Okay, but in order to get that feature on there, you have to go to...
Yeah, so you have to double click on the beam, go to display types, make it features.
Okay.
Here...
So now will that show the feature on every joint that you have?
Nope.
Just on that one particular you're working on?
Because I have double clicked on this one. Like for example, if I have selected all those and make it features, they will show the features on all the things that I have here, all the beams.
Okay. Okay.
Here, well, we have seen those 3 here. For the 6 here, if you want to draw a shape, and like when I select here, select this beam here, when I click, I have a shape by default. When I select the shape, I can be able to redimension it manually. If not, I have to double click on it. and then put the values here and here. For the positioning, now it's centered. I will be able to just put something else. For the contour, if I want to put a gap, like for example, 1 inch gap. Do you see the gap? I will put a top view. By the way, this is the top view. I will click here, make it top. We'll go to this one. Do you see? This is the feature. Do you see the 1 inch gap?
Okay.
Well, that's it. For the contour, 1 inch gap, I will put it back to 0. I will put it to
Now,
Is
can you
it-
move that feature to the end of the beam?
Yep. For example, I will move it here. You have to snap. Oh, here we go.
And that's just for the top flange. Okay. Oh, you got the top and bottom flange on that.
Yeah. When you click here, you have side 1 and side 2. If you want
Okay.
only the upper side, just uncheck this one.
Okay.
Do you see it? Or
Yeah.
the opposite.
Okay.
Well, that was it for the for this rectangular contour center UCS. This is exactly the same tool. The only difference is instead of just clicking on the center point, you determine 2 points. When you click here, select this one. You have to draw your rectangle.
Oh, okay.
When you click, it's done. And for the rest, it's exactly the same thing.
The only difference, it allow you to create the size that you want by just dragging
Yes.
the mouse.
Yes, exactly. But you know, you can modify it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Now that was the tool for the rectangle. This one is for circle. When I select this one, I have to select the beam and select where I want to add the feature. That's it. I have to play with the radius. With the positioning of the circle, I will put it center. And with the contour, exactly this, working the same way for the sides.
Okay.
And for the gap, if you want to have a gap or not. As I said, this one I only click the center point, but this one I have to draw my circle. Exactly as like those two options in here. So I have to click here, select the member, and draw my circle. Oops, the radius is too small, so we'll put it a little bit bigger. For the contour, I will put it top and bottom. Seems to be good?
Yep.
Okay. Well, this one is Polygon Contour UCS. When you select, you have to draw your shape. No matter what you drew, you will have it as a feature. For the corner finished, do you see the shape that I have through here? We have it in here. Why? Well, it's just because if you want some radiuses in here instead of corner. Like for example, I want to put here a half. Do you see it here?
Yes.
Well, that's it. You can put them for the 10 other corners that we have.
Okay.
And for the gap, it's working exactly the same. Sometimes for the gap, we are not allowed to put more. You know, we are limited. Like, for example, here we are limited to maybe a half. For sides, there is no limit. For the corner finished, we have seen that. Now we have here element contour at UCS. Well, for this one I have to draw something here. Oops. And then I will put a little section class, something like this. Okay. Here we have element contour at UCS. In here, specify the object that will be modified. So this one will be modified. You select the object to cut. The object at cut reference. So this one. Do you see the little feature?
Yep.
And for the gap, as I said, sometimes we are limited. You know, maybe 1/4. Yeah, we are limited to 1/4. And if I select this one, do you see the little feature? It's really on the beam.
So
When I
that's
double
cutting
click,
that's
yep, go ahead.
it's cutting that profile in the web of that beam.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, that was it for the for those first icons in green. As I said, the green icons are used for both plates and beams. I will let you sometimes to practice test the green icons, and after that we will see the blue ones. So if you have some questions, I'm still here.
Okay.
I will continue with the 6 others here. The first one is to create some codes. This is the manual way to do, you know, to do some codes and all that stuff, but while connecting, you won't have to use those unless you will start a connection with an intelligent box and, you know, just finishes manually. This is, we will see this one for the cope. You only have to select the beam where you want to cope, and he will create the cope automatically. Do you see the cope here?
Yep.
Well, you have here the width, the depth, and the length here. You have the corner finished. If you want, instead of straight corner, you want to put some radius. Well, 2 is too big. Maybe 1/8 will do the job. Yes. Do you see the little radius here? Yeah, that was it for this code. This is straight code, but we have here a skewed code. You have to select the beam, and here we have the option. I will put something a little bit big so you will see it. I will put myself on top view so you will see the difference between the two scopes. Do you see it here? The difference between both of them? Okay. Now we will see parametric, co-parametric. This scope, it will take care of all the top and bottom scope. Now he is asking me to select the main beam. Select this one, enter. This one, enter. And he will just, do you see here, the top scope and the bottom scope with weld symbols. For the parameters, we always have a picture here. I don't have to go through all this because, for example, number 3, the dimension number 3 is related to the line number 3. So if I want to modify this value, I will just go here and put it to 1, and we will see it in real time. So I won't go through all this. For the alignment, if it's aligned or for the alignment, this example is not really the best one for this option. For the corner finished, is it straight, this corner, or convex, concave, or just none? For the wells, do you see? We have wells here. If you want, and you have the picture, just in case. If you want to create some wells, just click here. If not, just uncheck this. And we have here our library just to save the values. Seems to be good for the parametric code?
Yep.
Perfect. To see the features, we have to double click here. Go to behavior, to display types, and make it features. For the parametric scopes, we have 3 features in one. We have the top scope, the bottom scope, and the shortening. Do you see them?
Yep.
Okay. To have access to the dialog box, you have to select one of the features, no matter which one, and go to Advanced Joint Properties. If you have the box, double click on the box.
Okay.
Now here we have shorten. And we'll do it on this one. We'll just shorten this beam away from the other beam. And we have the reference here. Like I want to put it to 3. If I want to put some slope in it, like 3, I will put something more so we will see it. And for the Z, I will put something else. Do you see the result? And that's what it look like. Seems to be good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for this beam clearance, I have never used that, and I think it's useless. What it does is it clears a beam from another one. Well, we have move icon for that. For the element contour rule, it's exactly the same thing as element contour at UCS. We have a little more flexibility. I have copied this one here, element contour rule, select this one, and select this one. The first is he will cut the beam at the object. But if you don't want to create the shortening, just uncheck this here. By default, it's checked, but we have our library and we can save the value with the parameters unchecked. By default, this one is creating short weld symbols. This one we don't have the just the element contour. We don't have the option for the weld symbol. For the gap here, we have exactly the same thing. For the welding, as I said, this is the main difference. We have, well, for the element contour rule, we have more flexibility. Here we have, chamfers instead of fillet. For the corner size, if I put it to like 1, no, for the little radius here. Well, that's it. If I want to create shortening or not. Do you see the mounting code? If it's if the beam is coming, well, if the beam is coming this side, so we will just create this scope here. To see the feature on these beams, I have to go to display types, make it features, and we will see all the features here. Seems to be good, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will let you practice those 6 icons here. If you have some questions, don't hesitate, I'm still here.
Okay.
Well,
I do have one question. When you start creating, I know this may be getting a little bit ahead, but when you are actually applying connections,
Yep.
you have to go through and cut these beams and all like
Nope.
this?
Nope, it's
Okay.
done automatically.
Oh, okay.
This
okay.
is just in
Alright, I want-
case of, some
Yeah,
fancy
certain
connection
situations.
that doesn't exist within our library. It's
Gotcha.
really rare, but it's existing,
Okay. Okay.
You will
Just give
use
you-
those features.
Okay.
Seems to be good, guys?
Mhm.
Well, I will send you the link for tomorrow class, and we'll take it from there. If you have some questions during the day, don't hesitate to contact me. I will send you the link for tomorrow class that is starting the same time. Well, talk to you tomorrow, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.